We're back with Fire Emblem and the cursed Wilson.
What is? What do you mean? What quick? Why am I cursed? What is happening in the world?
Well, after the sync.
Why are you in my sorry, I need to hide.
Sync, welcome back.
Dimitri and Sylvain.
Sync,
welcome back.
Sync, welcome back.
Welcome.
Wow, I really got thrown off by that.
Bracho, if you could listen to only one band for the rest of your life, what would it be? I knew that. I didn't even have to ask.
I'll do that.
They have a song that covers most every bit of my personal taste. Ash.
Bracho, do your best anime like
Shocked. No.
Wilson.
Why am I shocked?
That's your reaction.
No.
Why are you shocked?
Turn to camera. Why am I shocked?
You okay?
Stereotypical
You're walking out your apartment door, but you run into a girl and you like just kind of like bump her.
Yeah.
I dropped the bag of groceries that I'm carrying, and I slow-mo go back against like a yellow background. I'm like,
My nose is bleeding.
No, it doesn't bleed. I'm just like,
and then he turns around and it's the girl he has a crush on. He turns around and it's the girl he has a crush on.
Yeah, and then
again he goes,
no, and then I quickly turn back away, and my face up here gets red, and the little shadow goes over my eye.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be streaming tears.
No.
Here's a question for
some reason
for anybody. This might be a good discussion. If you could breed a hybrid animal of any two species, what two would you choose?
Dog and platypus.
Flying squirrel, chameleon.
Cool. Why dog and platypus?
They're two of my favorite animals. But also it'd just be cool.
What traits of either of those would you want?
Could you imagine a dog? Let's say wolf. Let's just make it easy.
Wolf and platypus?
Yeah. So think about it, right?
How does that make it easy?
That's not easy at all. That's
Dog
really
is
complicated.
Simplified wolf.
I think wolf is simplified dog because there's far less kinds of wolves than there are types of dogs, so it's easier to imagine.
Yeah, but all dogs came from wolves, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the easier picture to picture than like if I just said dog. You could be picturing
a Pekingese,
or a Shih Tzu, or a fucking
wolf.
long boy.
Wolf, you have an idea of like
wolf is just like there's a strong visual for wolf.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So
what
wolf,
traits?
They'd have the thick good fur, right? But it's also like the same as the platypus, where it's kind of that water wicking whatever fucking fur.
It's got like a coat.
Yeah, and the males have the poison barb on the back leg, like
you want that on the hind of the wolf,
like it does on the platypus.
Mm-hmm.
And then
are these platypus feet or are these wolf feet?
They are like modified wolf feet. They're not
webbed.
They're not. Yeah, they're
paws?
more webbed and a little more spaced, but it's not like like a tight paw like you see. You know, like a normal. It's spaced a little bit for some webbies.
That guy's concentrating too much on his food.
And then it's got a big old nose like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also got like the dog's sense of smell.
Okay.
So that big old nose just smelling all that good.
Does it lay eggs?
Yes.
If it was the female?
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, it also does not have nipples. It has those little divots. Right? Remember? Because the females have divots on their chest instead of nipples.
Uh-huh.
And the milk seeps out the pores and collects in the divots. Like little cups. That's real. That's a real thing.
I know, but it's fucking... It's fun to imagine.
So the wolf has that too. So think about it. She doesn't have to worry about like nip space for her pups, right?
You'd rather have the divot than the nips?
For the mom, yeah.
But it's like, how big is this thing? Is it wolf size? It would make more sense to have the nipples then.
No.
How would it collect the divot?
What do you mean?
Platypus is already low to the ground. They just roll and they just
but this is his.
It's his tummy, like the tummy region.
Okay.
Of a dog, not like the chest.
So the dog has to lay on its back to feed the young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, otherwise she has to lay on her side.
I know.
Or on her back.
Or have nipples.
That's what I'm saying with nipples. Like that's nipple dogs have to lay on their sides, kind of, right, for the pups to get at it.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's the same thing. It's just she's laying on her back instead.
Okay.
And so where the tummy parts are, where the nips usually are on the doggies, it's the divots instead.
Okay.
And then so instead of
So
all the
little
pups,
little troughs of
so the
divots.
pups, instead of the pups fighting for a fucking nip,
They all get a trough.
there's a trough, yeah. And also it's nice for the mom because you're not getting fucking nip bit every time by a fucking pup.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it's a nicer thing for the mother.
To have the
The
doggies.
divots.
What would you call this animal?
Um,
And what would you call the young versions of it, like cub?
the platypulp.
Platypulp?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
younglings?
What's the platypup? Like, of course.
Cute.
Platypup.
So they lap up the milk in the trough
Yeah.
instead of like gnawing on the nip?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to yours? Doesn't lay eggs?
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Does lay eggs.
They hatch. It's a platypup.
So yeah, it's lays eggs. It's about the size of a wolf. It's got spaced out paws a little bit, so it's with webbing. It's got the divots instead of the nips.
It's got the silky.
It's got the silky fur, but that's also
Swimming.
still thick and
Right.
whatever like wolves have. And then it's got the big ass nose, and then also the sense and smell of a dog.
And radar dish ears.
Yeah, those little tiny. Well, should he have the tiny ears or should he have wolf ears?
Wolf ears, I would say. That's a good
Yeah.
evolutionary trait.
Yeah, they have wolf ears. And yeah, that's the platypulp, the platypups. And oh yeah, and then the male has the poison barb on the hind leg,
There you go.
where like the dew claws are and shit on dogs. You know
Yep.
that if we were to continue evolving, that would eventually be our thumb,
Correct.
aka dew claw. That's crazy, isn't it?
Fucking nuts.
You look at it and it's just like, why is this here? And then you think about it, it's like, wait, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yep.
4 fingies,
Yep.
4 toes, and then
They're
and
fucking.
up here that would be their thumb.
There
if it
would be-
kept moving
yeah.
down as they evolve.
Yeah.
And they
Cats
a
have
thumb.
that too.
Yeah, a lot of
Pod things.
pod things have dew claws.
Wilson, you said flying squirrel and was it chameleon?
Yeah.
Any reasoning behind those choices? You just think that would be a cool
mean-
mix-up?
Dude, you could glide and blend into shit.
I want to know Wilson's thought process.
Yeah.
Were those just two that came to the top of your head?
No, I think that'd be a cool hybrid animal.
What traits of each one would you want?
The chameleon eyes that can look independently of each other because they're both goofy as fuck but awesome at the same
Hell yeah.
time.
So would it
Anytime you
look would
at
it
one
look
of those
more like a
motherfuckers,
chameleon?
It's looking at you and
Yeah.
also looking like behind it.
Yep.
And
Does
it's-
it have the
and
same
then it's like-
lids on it too? The lids that cover all of it except for that little bit.
Yep.
Nice.
And
Oh,
its
cool.
hands are like chameleon hands, so it just has the three that are really good for grabbing
Nice.
sticks
Grabbing.
and stuff, so he can like reach out and do his little. But then he has the furry in between. The only place where it's really furred is here, and then on his belly a little bit, but everything else is just kind of like the dappled scaliness of chameleons. Also, it's mostly chameleon, just with the like
I can
sugar
pic-
glider
I
type
can
webbing
picture it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and fur on his belly.
Ooh, dude, sugar glider chameleon would be cool. For sure.
Yeah.
Does it though the hands are like this or whatever? Can it still kind of, or does it have like you know how sugar glider hands look? Those little
They're like little claws.
they're little hands. Yeah, they just look like little hands,
Little
but they got the
pinky hands on
little
the.
claws on them. Could be like that, but also like with the, or would it be like that?
No, just be with the three.
Would the figgy have like the chameleon style claw, or would it have the squirrel or sugar glider claw,
Sugar glider.
or would it be like a hybrid? Like what would it be?
Just chameleon hands.
I would say chameleon hands.
Yes, perfect. Just chameleon hands.
Yeah.
What would
Yep.
you call this?
That
this
was my nickname in high school. Chameleon hands.
Chameleon hands.
What would be the name of this hybrid?
Chad.
No.
Would it be funny though if you had a whole species that was just named like Kyle,
No.
Steven,
God no.
Vladislav?
We would call it Joseph.
No.
Yes.
Think again. Bradshaw had one where it like
Yes,
combined.
I'm sorry. I should think of a new name for my own imaginary hybrid being.
Does that if that sells?
My imaginary hybrid being's name is Tyler. There.
Still not good enough.
Oh, okay.
Come on, you got to think of a one that combines an animal, not names of first names of people.
Why can't it be called Joseph?
You can call one Joseph, but the species is called Joseph.
Yeah.
Or could they be called something else, like a camellia fly or something weird?
No, I think they'd be called Joseph because they all have amazing Technicolor dream coats.
So they would be really
Camaro?
vivid colored.
A Camaro?
Yeah, like a chameleon.
Chameleons.
Have you ever seen a leopard chameleon? Those things are vivid as fuck.
Dude, have you ever seen a leopard?
Few of them. Snow leopards, yes.
Sweet.
So it would have the coat of a really colorful chameleon.
Yeah.
Would the
Really colorful chlamydia.
would the rainfly things that come out of its arms, would those be colorful?
I mean, it would have all of its natural pigment changing capabilities the chameleon has
Okay.
But would it be
on
like
the entirety of its body.
Would it be
But you also
furry?
said it was furry.
Or
Would
would
it
it be
still have the
scaly,
fur?
or would it look like this, or just look like skin, or what would it look like?
It'd be scaly stuff that's on the chameleon that fades into some skinny with a little bit of fine fur on the
For the
on the webbings, and on
Okay.
a little bit of fur coming onto the belly as well for warmth.
Okay, so is it covered in fur?
No.
Or is it just fur on the edges?
No, it's not fur on the edges either. It's neither of those.
What was it again?
Mainly scales on most of its body, like a chameleon has, where it's not really scales, but it's
Yeah.
like skin.
Yeah.
It's like the dappley skin. Then
Apples,
going into
apples,
like a
apples,
finer,
apples.
like membrane type skin
Yeah.
with like a fine fur on it over the wings, a little bit on the belly so it can stay warm.
Okay. So what my main question, I guess, then was, so it just looks like fur. It doesn't look like you can't see skin through the fur.
It just looks like skin mostly because the fur is so fine.
Oh, okay, so it's like our arms, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But he's very vivid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're called Josephs.
They're called Josephs.
Fine.
It's my imaginary animal. I can call it whatever the fuck tickles my fancy, right?
Yeah, sure, because
So-
there aren't anything called Josephs, I guess.
Yeah.
If you
whatever,
want to,
whatever tickles his pickle.
whatever hybrid you come up with, if you want to call it scrumbumpulus, I'm not going to deny that.
That's already somewhat of a thing. Scrumbumpulus is a verbiage that has been used
Scrumbumpulus?
in not general terms, but it's a
Like
jargon.
Crumbopulus?
It's a jargon word. It's a weird word.
I just said syllables.
That's true. You did.
What if you call it
Those
that?
are noises.
Oh my god, Tyler.
He's not wrong.
You're
I'm not wrong.
You're putting so many rules on fun.
It's been me these
not-
last
I'm not-
couple
No,
episodes.
I'm trying to
not
make it
wrong.
fun. I'm just trying to make it
It's even. Both
more
of you-
interesting
both of you.
than Joseph. I knew you could probably come up with something better than Joseph. That's what I'm saying.
I couldn't. My peak, my
Your
choice.
peak. Now we know Wilson's peak is
in
Joseph.
yes.
His peak
all downhill
imagination.
from
Peak
here.
is Joseph.
His
Yeah.
peak is Joseph.
Joseph.
And we'll be back with another
With yours?
episode.
With yours, you motherfucker.
I'll do one.